Removing ourselves from this world, escapism, is often a comfortable retreat that many of us return to in our spare time. Some prefer the written page, indulging in tales of the lavish, the troubled, petulant, and the fantastic. The reader is left to drown in history of a world fabricated by a restless or drug-induced dream made reality. There are those who would rather put their spare time into manual labor, emulating that of, say, the humble farmhand. Though the plants lack the mystique of fictional flora, there is more to discover in the familiar environment around us. Your interest may lie in food production, awaiting the eventual harvest, or the collection of exotic plants and their unique traits. If either indulging in plastic worlds or getting your hands dirty isn't appealing to you, enter a virtual world where you are more than the audience, where you won't strain your already atrophied muscles. You have agency. Everything and everyone is a stranger to you. The underlying uncertainty, the lack of clearly defined roads, is cause for immersion. These worlds long for your presence. They offer their fruit in return for your labor. It was no coincidence these three played as examples. Know that, where we're going, there's no such thing as a coincidence, according to the weatherman.
Could you use a little weather scoop, by the way? Are you wondering about the sun or the clouds today? There's just one man who has the say. Who else but the weatherman?
And here's the latest weather report.
Welcome to Elderfield brings a comfortable horror experience for the season of decay and conception. Comparable to the likes of Silent Hill and Stardew Valley, if only for their cozy properties and visual presentations, Elderfield offers a convergent playstyle. One part farming simulator, another part horror-themed JRPG, with an air of mystery in a town populated with monsters, antediluvian gods, and troubled citizens. Those of you who are familiar with Dated's work will know that the macabre maestro has an affinity for horror of all kinds. From the far reaches of Asia and the dank hovels of the internet, nothing is beyond consumption. We have what we need to establish a light background. The record label and Dated's extended catalog of work is a topic for another day. Let's start with a basic rundown of your first few minutes in the town of Elderfield. You begin in your dilapidated home. A kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, and living room at your disposal. Inside each room, there are a variety of appliances and stations which we can use. To summarize, we have a journal for notes and mail, an equipment closet, a bed to skip time and manually save. Note that strange things can happen in the dark. Sleep is seldom required in this world. It is a tool rather than necessity. In some cases, in order to make progress, time must pass while we're unconscious. Continuing, a pot to cook meals, where resources are both accessible from your inventory and the nearby refrigerator. The bathtub offers a means of healing both body and soul, as well as leaving us presentable for some of the townsfolk. The only television channel we have is a local news network. Events which may lead to mysterious encounters will be reported here. Be sure to check back each day. Our radio can be used to play a variety of tapes and recordings that we find. The bookcase, though filled with old textbooks detailing rituals and ancient gods, among other horrors, is of no use. It does, however, introduce us to the idea of searching every nook and cranny for items or bizarre encounters. And lastly, we have general storage accessible across a couple locations, your home and the farm. Once outside, we collect our gate key. In doing so, we're attacked by a perfectly ordinary rat. Combat is straightforward. We have a standard physical attack, ritual magic, a guard, and access to items. As this is both a demo and the first encounter, Our only real option is to haphazardly swing a stick until the rat falls. Barbaric, yes, though effective. Later, we will find a bestiary which details the stats and weaknesses of the various monsters we face. I'll leave that to your own discovery. Just off the curb, Tanner, a peer from school, mulls over the restrictions of a post-graduation life. Though he needs an income himself, the farm to the west doesn't interest him. Perhaps we can speak with the old farmer. Alternatively, we can explore to our heart's content, speaking with the townsfolk, delving into dungeons, collecting materials, and so on. Eventually, we will want to expand our horizons and venture to the farm. Though only a demo, there is a vast world here, narrow yet tall. The looming presence of the neighborhood watch, the mall and its secrets, wanderers of both world and mind, a romance-starved magician, twisted children terrorizing townsfolk, homes holding secrets and tentacle infestations, a cat communing with ancient beasts, and a Japanese skeleton obsessed with mysteries takes up residence in the local apartment complex. There is so much for you to see and explore. Do not be fooled by the word demo. Anyhow, our pockets are feeling rather light. Farmer Hans may have some work for us. Though an intimidating figure, Hans is quite the kind soul. Having shed his skin, as one does, in his later years as a means of continuing his passion, the bones continued to grow. His love for agriculture and the farm itself has kept him here, unwilling to destroy his life's work in favor of freedom without destination. Both his loyal farmhand and cook sustain him, but there is nobody willing to manage the crops anymore, nor the infestation of ghost tentacles plaguing the field, until we arrived. The process is simple. Gather cleansing balm, apply it to the tentacles, plant crops in the now clear soil, harvest, and repeat. We can use the harvested crops for recipes, useful for dungeon crawling, or sell it off to buy various items between stores. As for the cleansing balm, Hans gives us a few to work with right out the gate, but they're generally hard to come by. We will have to explore and expand in order to find and purchase more cleansing balm. Again, fairly straightforward. The cost of both resources, financial and material, will grow like our crops and ambition. We will, inevitably, end up skulking through ancient mines in places where they do not belong, such as beneath the mall, disrupting the beings below. The treasures beneath will be imperative to our continued development in the form of ritualistic shrines, decor, ranching structures, crafted equipment, and so on. Added layers of complexity will continue to unlock as we progress. Rituals may be performed for the betterment of our crops and convenience. Scarecrows, furnaces, workbenches, and other utilities will be established in due course. As the old farm breathes a musty breath, life will return here. Though not all life is ordinary. Visitors will come and go, offering their words, gifts, and patronage. Humble, not farmers, will stop by for a chat. The adventurous merchant offers unrivaled deals, and the less welcome, though expected, tax fog comes to claim. More specifically, the taxman and his pale horse. Does this fog bring the man, or does this man bring the fog? What he does bring, without debate, much like the ancient gods of this place, are boons for the worthy and curses for the heretics. Have you ever heard of a generous taxman? Though this town may seem bleak, with existential threats around every corner, the characters are alive. Sam's wandering mind, lost to the cosmos and entranced by the stars. Alice, Hans's granddaughter, comes to visit on Wednesdays. Pete the laundry ghost teaches us about the old gods and some ritual magic. Josh gets around. He is attentive to the strange ones living in town, knowledgeable about ritual magic, and has a deep respect for the troublesome tots running amok. Josh, he knows things, some of which he is willing to share. Granted, this is but a small snippet from the roster. Many distinct characters exist in this small corner of the greater town of Elderfield. That is, when it arrives in full. This is merely a demo. According to the description on both Steam and Itch, the current version contains approximately a sixth of the planned game. To paraphrase, the town is meant to be over 3 times the size by the end of development. At least 2 more dungeons are to be added, old god alignment, various calendar events, quality of life improvements, and other oddities are set to release over time. It's worth noting that since I started writing this overview, a few new features have been added and or changed. The taxman had been introduced just a couple days ago. The traveling merchant made his debut shortly after the initial demo release. The decoration placement system had just been revamped, allowing players to place the decorations wherever they pleased, as opposed to being limited to a few set locations. Numerous bugs have also been squashed, and more have been taken out back behind the shed for processing. By the time this project is complete, there will likely be more features and changes absent from my writings. So, what can you, the wayward traveler, do? You could ignore this and go about your day, enjoying the festivities. Or, you could download the demo, join the ill-advised Discord server, provide feedback, report bugs, and typos, while enjoying your stay in the town that has stood for as long as the old gods have willed it. Dated is dedicated to creating his dream game. You can follow the development on his Discord, his newly created devlog channel, and Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, you can expect early alpha versions to be released on his page. For your convenience, all of these have been linked in the description. I am neither paid nor encouraged to say any of this. Go play the demo, if only for a brief time. Leave a review, whether feedback, praise, or justified criticism. And to date it, you ambitious creature you, if somehow you stumble across this, I wish you luck in your endeavors. With all that in mind, and I hope you're already on the store page as I speak, thank you for your time and support, no matter how brief. Things are clearing up here, finally, so I will carry on with my work. As some might know, there is a large, dare I say the largest, project I have yet worked on in development. I'm uncertain as to when it will be finished, but I will plug away on it as much as I can. In the meantime, expect some sort of investigative project at some point in the not-so-distant future. There's a few interviews I wouldn't mind chasing after. Anywho, cheers. I hope you all have a pleasant Halloween, or Samhain, if that's your thing. The voices in the House of Mobile are silent these days, such is the season of decay, though I will be hiding away in my hovel, enjoying the company of my thoughts for the first time in, well, quite a while. Again, I have some plans in the works, and I look forward to sharing with you again. I will see you all soon, and please, have a pleasant Halloween.